This film excerpt depicts option number 2. Video a group of English learners in collaborative conversations. In your annotations, identify and explain the standards learners show evidence of and their level of English proficiency based on their responses. Identify any scaffolds learners are using to support their discussion. The video portion of this lesson is in preparation for a formal presentation on the life of William Shakespeare. Before beginning the play Romeo and Juliet, students were asked to read a biography of his life and legacies in the style of a jigsaw. The lesson as a whole addresses role and cultural significance of theater standard 3.2, where students are asked to describe the ways in which playwrights reflect and influence their culture. It also addresses a Part 1 ELD standard, more specifically a language productive standard that asks students to express information and ideas in formal oral presentations on academic topics. Students were then asked to share the information they found with their group members using given sentence frames.
The early life of Shakespeare was there was a point of his life where no one knew what he was doing. This was referred to as the lost years. He had 3 children, one girl and a set of twins, but one of them passed 11 years later. And he was married to one woman his whole life.
Students were placed in groups and assigned a number between 1 and 4. Depending on the number they were given, they were to read their part of the text, put the information they found into a Google Slides template, and be prepared to teach their group members about the section they were assigned.
So there was evidence by 1592 that William Shakespeare acted as an actor and a playwright in London and possibly had several plays produced. In the early 1590s, documents show that William Shakespeare was a managing partner in the Lord Chamberlain's Men Acting Company in London.
After 1200, William Shakespeare wrote the tragedies Hamlet, King Lear, Othello, and Macbeth. In his final period, he wrote the comedies Cymbeline, The Winter's Tale, and The Tempest. William died on his birthday on April 23rd, 1616, though many people believed it was not.
The legacy of William Shakespeare was official records from the Holy Trinity Church and the Stanford government records the excess of William Shakespeare, but none of these accents to him being an author or playwright. He did maybe legacy from film. One of them was Romeo and Juliet.
In order to move students towards stronger understanding and greater independence, or in other words, to scaffold the lesson, I divided the larger task of reading the biography into smaller chunks, provided students with the Google Slides template, and also gave them sentence frames. This is what the slide template I created for students looked like before students input their findings. And this is what the template looked like after the group of recorded students input their information for their formal presentation. As I reflect on how the lesson went, I notice there are some things I could have done differently. First and foremost, I don't want to sound like I am lessening the performance from this group of students. They did an exceptional job. If I could do this part of the lesson over again, I would have embedded the sentence frames within the Google Slides template so that students would be familiar with using them come the presentation. By doing this, students would have a safety net in relaying their information and hopefully refrain from reading off of their screens. I also noticed that my students failed to include images on their slides, something that was required of them in the assignment. Next time, I will be sure to include some anchor samples of past students' presentations so students can visually see my expectations.